All right, this is a 2013 Nissan GTR, and this is a custom sill plate, scuff plate that lights up, and I'm going to show you how to put this guy in that. So let's get started. All right, so first things first, we actually need to remove this side skirt here on the car in order to get access to the door sill scuff plate. So we're trying to take off this guy, but unfortunately there are some clips underneath here that we need to access. So in order to take off the side skirt, we need to access some Phillips screws and then also some clips. So you're gonna need any type of shallow screwdriver. You could use a shallow screwdriver, otherwise this is just a socket, 1/4 inch, then the 1/4 socket with a little attachment in there, or this is just like a 90-degree drill thing. And then for the clips, you're gonna need either plastic pry tool or screwdriver with the flathead works too. All right, so this is the front driver's side of the car. So underneath here, there are some screws. It's a little bit hard to see, but the first one's right there, and then there's gonna be another one right there, and they're just gonna go on there. So I'm gonna take my little tool here, and all right, and I'm just gonna go ahead and unscrew these. All right, I'll probably switch to my drill here in a little bit and take all these screws out and show you guys. All right, next up, this guy needs to be removed. So there's one here and then one on the rear of the car. So you can use pry tools, or if you have flathead screwdriver, that works too. So I got one here. And then there is gonna be one right here that also, right there, if you can see it, that needs to be removed as well. All right, so those are off, and now this thing should actually just pull off. So I'm gonna set the camera down here and get this guy pulled off. All right, so just to show you what we were actually pulling off, so there's some clips that were just hooked in there. So now we just pulled all those off and realized it'd actually be easier if the door is open. So make sure the door is open when you take this off. But now you have the very dirty part of my car. And now we have access to these. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're gonna pull those out, and then after we do that, we're gonna pop in the new sill. So these ones just, again, flathead screwdriver, pry tool, these pop off pretty easily. So now this guy should just pop off by itself. Let's try it one-handed. I feel like I'll probably need two. I think it just, all right, so it pops off. Yeah. All right, so we got that guy popped off. All right, so now we are ready to put the new door sill in. two more things to pop off here. So this plastic panel's right here. It just clips off. We also have to access the the other side of this, and this is the thing that tells you when the door is closed. Fortunately, we need to take off this plastic panel. In order to get this plastic panel off, we need to remove just the bottom part of this rear seat. So under here, there's a tab. If you pull it forward and lift up, the seat will come up. This is the tab I was pulling, and now the seat just sort of slides out just like that. So we got the seat over there. And oh man, if you guys will have Dynamat on the back of your car, highly suggest it. So I need to take off this panel, and it actually should just pop off. Let's see if I can set it. Alright, so this just sort of slides out, gives us just enough access for what we need, so we'll probably won't need to take anything out besides this. So pulling it back here. Alright, so this, oh sorry about the camera. So yeah, so this is the thing I was talking about on this side, and we just need access to this. This is actually just a ground wire, so I'm gonna get to the next step and I'll be back here in a sec. So I'm gonna tap this to get the ground wire. While you're doing this, you might hear the window engage, because again, when this car opens, the window goes slightly down, and this is telling the car the door is opening and closing, so you might hear that as you're taking the screw off. Our right screw comes off. I'm gonna pull this guy off. This little rubber part here, and as I pull the rubber part, this comes off here. There is a tab right here. I'm going to push the tab down, and now this comes off. So I'm going to set these two aside, and now I need to get access to this wire. So I'm going to cut the wire back a little bit. So I'm going to just take this and be gentle just to scrape that. So as I peel that back, there's actually two layers. So there's a bigger plastic part, so you don't want to cut too deep. And that will reveal a wire in there. Alright, I like to pull back like about an inch will probably do. So again, this is the wire that we need to tap. So you should have a fuse tap, and it should look something like this. There are two sides to it. There's one side where the hole goes all the way through, and another where the hole does not go all the way through. So the wire that we're tapping is this black wire, and again, this connects to the inverter. So the inverter comes here. It is what gives the lights power, converts the 12 volts from the car to what the lights use. So that black wire is the ground wire. So there is Velcro on the back of here, so I'm gonna peel off this Velcro, and now this inverter just needs to hang out somewhere. And you know, the versions of the car might be a little bit different. On this one, there's a little pocket right here where I could just set it. So I'm gonna put mine there. Whatever you put it to, you just want it to stick, because once you put the panels back, the last thing you want is this thing rattling back and forth, so that'll get really annoying. So just use a Velcro, clip it somewhere. So I'm gonna get this to a decent length. I have it, yours will probably be already pre-cut, but we need to tap this. Use some wire cutters. All right, so we got, to strip it, so we got this stripped here. And This side is gonna go to one of them, and then, actually, it's actually probably easier to do the other side. So this will just go over just like this. It might be a little bit difficult to get this guy in just because it's a little bit thicker. You know what? I'm gonna remove, there's like almost like electrical tape here. I'm gonna try to peel back just a little bit. Yeah. All right. So, again, I'm just gonna try to push this over until it gets in that little hole. I'm just using this just to push down. All right. So now it's in that hole and it goes smoothly. I'm gonna get just a clamp. Yeah, I realize I need something to grab this guy. All right, so I'm gonna get this. Again, let's see, other wire is gonna go into the other hole. Just like this. You wanna know what? For ease, I'm actually gonna reverse this the other way. All right, and then this wire is gonna go into this side. All right, so now this guy will just get tucked, and again, we'll go through here. Put this thing back on here. I want to make sure this is on here nice and good. All right, this goes back here. Grab our screw, put our screw back here. All right, next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and put this guy on here. So if you remember, it just clips down. Before we do that though, there is one wire that is coming out of here, and the wire's actually just gonna run up here underneath and just right over that little gap there. And then so this just pulls up, and again, this stops water from coming into your car. So this wire is thin enough that we don't really need to drill a hole for it. So we're just gonna feed it down through here, back up the other side, until it's where we need it. So we're gonna push this in here and just push this down. After we push this down, we're just gonna seal that back in there. So, and then we'll have it clipped in there real nice. So our ground wire is taken care of, but now we need a power wire. So the power wire is coming out of the inverter. So the power wire, again, is just gonna run in this little channel. This is where this piece was. So the power wire will run in this channel. Yours might be black or might be red. Mine actually turns to black here. But anyway, it's gonna run through here and it needs to connect to our panel. So this piece needs to come off here, but first we need to take off a little nut that is right here, and you can't see it well, but you can actually unscrew this just with your fingers. After you unscrew this guy, it just comes out, and this is what it looks like. So now this panel will just sort of pop off. All right, so this panel pops off. It reveals your fuse box. I actually already have this hooked up, but you use a add fuse, and there'll be one in the box. So this add fuse allows you to add a fuse into the one that you have here. So I picked a fuse that was always on. So this is what it looks like in my particular car. I actually use this one that said stop lamp. That's the one that I chose. So I did the add fuse for that, and you'll have the fuses put in there, and then connected that, and that's again, so this black wire that you see right here is the same wire that ran down through here. Put that guy in there, and now this has a constant 12 volts that always goes to it, but again, it won't be activated when the door is closed, because when the door is closed there's no ground, and then when the door is open there's a ground. It's sort of hard to see now, but I'll have some videos when it gets a little darker. So now we can hop over to the other side. Before we hop over to the other side, just wanted to note, so each door needs its own ground wire, because again, the ground wire is our trigger. So there's one here, and then there's one on the other side. But the constant 12 volt that we ran here, we're actually going to share that on the other side. So, you know, that red wire that's running here that goes to the inverter, we'll just need to run across over to the other side. So I'll show you that in a bit. We need to remove the back seats to run the wire there. So again, you pull the little tab and just lift up, and that's the tab. Seat comes off. This part's pretty straightforward too. This is actually just a little clip back there, and then that pulls up. And be careful under here, there's actually one little guy you have to unclip. Well, actually, you probably don't even have to unclip it. Let's just, well, for the sake of seeing things, let's unclip it, but you probably really don't even have to. I lied, I'm gonna leave it just like that, because the wire just needs to run from there over here. So we'll leave that just loosely here. Again, grab this guy, lift up. So got that. I should probably move this guy out of the way, because I feel like I'm gonna step on it or scratch it. So we'll just throw that guy over there. So we got our doors out, so now we have a clear path. Got this hooked up. All right, so the red wire, again, is our power wire. That wire connects to the wire that we had down over here. I just sort of let it sit here, ran against the back, and then just tucked it underneath here. One word of caution is I actually realized that the fuel tank is here, and I've heard that the fuel tank can get a little hot at times, so it probably isn't a really big deal, but just for kicks and giggles, I taped it to the plastic part here. So it's taped to the plastic part, taped underneath the seat here, and then taped to the plastic part here. So the wire is actually resting on this, which I think during, you know, some type of tracking and other things, this can get pretty hot. So anyway, wire runs down there, runs to the inverter.